Hey, welcome to my Warframes Where They Are Now series, a little series I've had brewing in the back of my mind since the early days of Warframe, quote unquote. I'm going to put this little intro at the beginning of every video in this series. If you've heard this once or more, feel free to skip it. This is just my opinion and is not guaranteed to be fact. Remember, with Warframe, everyone plays at least a little different from each other. That's why there's 52 frames as of making this intro, of course. That being said, I do plan on being as objective as I can with this series. But bias will always be a potential problem, and will definitely shine through in certain episodes, if not all. Now, that being said, I hope you enjoy the series. August 3rd, 2023. Today we're talking about Hydroid, the space pirate. Although, hilariously enough, there are two of those now, but let's leave Sevagoth out of this. Hydroid is a frame that's been thrown to the wayside for quite some time now, as he's not particularly strong in any fields, and is generally perceived to be a loot bitch because of it. Base stats on a level 30 Hydroid Prime are 275 armor, 225 energy, 300 health, and 525 shields. And 1.05 sprint speed because fuck you, I guess. Hydroid's passive is slam attacks have a 50% chance to summon a tentacle for 15 seconds. I really like using the Grand Prime and the Paracesis with him because of the Tempo Royale stance. You just go to town with slam attacks and, summon a fuck ton of tentacles. His first ability is Tempest Barrage. You can either tap or hold it. If you hold it, it increases the duration and damage. And as for what it does, is it rains cannonballs. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does knock the enemies around something fierce. It's kind of fun to watch, as you can probably tell. As for the augment, it's Corroding Barrage. Each projectile has a 100% chance of inflicting a corrosive status effect. Tempest Barrage also gains 100% ability strength. I honestly think that might be good. This seems like a fun augment. Definitely let me know in the comments if you've used this, if it's worth using. I don't have it yet because I just started New Loka, so I don't know yet. His second ability, Tidal Surge. You become a wave temporarily and dash forward. It also kind of knocks enemies out of the way. It's also the mode of transport for the third ability, which we'll get to in a second here. Not particularly strong, I ended up helmeting it off. But yeah, I'm going to be reevaluating my builds probably before I even do the build segment on this, so it'll be a little different, but for now I have Blood Altar on it, so you'll know if I did end up changing it. Anyway, as for the augment, Title Impunity, it clears status effects and also grants 12 seconds of status immunity for yourself and allies that come in contact with it. Reduces Tidal Surge's energy cost to 15. Alright, I'd rather just use Oberon for that, admittedly, but I guess it's an option. His third ability is Undertow. You become a puddle, and you trap and deal damage to enemies you come in contact with. Visually it looks interesting. As far as damage, it scales off pretty hard. Honestly, I will say the one nice thing about it is you can cast your other abilities while you're in the puddle, so that's kind of cool. Honestly, the best part about it is the fact that you are indestructible as a puddle, so that comes in handy if you have a means of recharging your health. But yeah. As for the augment, Curative Undertow, allies that can stand in the pool to regain 30% health over 1.5 seconds. Hydroid will restore 10% health. Well, alright, there you go, I guess. No, but in all seriousness, though, I feel like you'd want a better means of it, say Vazarin or something. But yeah, it's an ability. Alright, as for his fourth ability, Tentacle Swarm. You can either tap or hold it, like the first ability. If you hold it, it increases the radius as well as the number of tentacles. But aside from that, as for what it does, it spawns a few tentacles, anywhere between 10 and 20 of them, and they grab enemies and fling them around a little bit. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It sure is funny as hell to watch. I fucking wish I clipped this, but there was actually one time where I was killing Alid like usual. After he died, the tentacle picked him up and just kind of flung him around for a while, and it was the funniest shit. Because he was still talking at you too, because, bosses do that. But it is not exactly a good damage dealing ability. It's an interesting CC. The Augment is Pilfering Swarm. Enemies held by tentacles have a 100% chance to drop additional loot. This tends to be what everybody uses Hydroid for. I personally prefer Necros. I know that technically Hydroid's better for it, but I prefer Necros, to be completely honest. But yeah, no, like this is the one reason why people be like, oh, play Hydroid, is for using him as a loot bitch, sadly. As for my build, I run entirely duration and range. Fuck strength. His abilities don't do a whole lot of damage to begin with, so no point on trying to make them do damage. I did end up replacing the second ability with Gloom. I know at the beginning I had Blood Altar on it, but I realized Gloom's probably better with the high duration. Because to be fair, when I did this, I only had about half of the stuff at the helmet. Now I have all but like 3 abilities in there. But anyways, as far as Archon shards, I don't know. I'd probably throw a few into armor and then the rest into duration. So how does this frame fare for Deviri? Well, for regular Deviri content, as always, he does pretty good. But as for Steel Path Deviri content, he is one of the worst frames, if not the worst frame, to get for it. He doesn't do a whole lot to help you. I mean, the CCs are right, but honestly, there's much better CCs in the game, and yeah, he's not great for that. Hydroid is a frame that absolutely needs a rework, and I could definitely say I'm not alone in this assessment. Most people I've met and most posts I've seen about Hydroid are all talking about how he sucks as a frame. So he's got to be on the rework list. At least I would hope, that being said. So hopefully we'll have to retouch up on Hydroid in the future. But for now, that's it, and that's all. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.